folks. You know, my first guest this evening from films like The Queen's Gambit and Dune. She now stars in Furiosa, a Mad Max Saga. Please welcome Anya Taylor-Joy. Look at that.
Thank you.
There you go.
Thank you.
It is lovely to see you in person.
Yes. Sorry.
We've spoken before, but only over Zoom. It's so nice to have you here.
You were one of my first interviews, and you treated me with such kindness and respect, so thank you for
Well,
that.
that ends tonight. Free
Are we
rides
about to go
over,
to war?
Taylor-Joy, okay? I saw the film last Friday, and an unbelievably exciting thrill ride, just like Mad Max Fury Road was. You in this play, it's a prequel, the younger version of the character Furiosa, played by Charlize Theron in Fury Road. But there's a younger version of you, too, in this, played by
Alila Brown, a wonderful actor.
There she is, right there. She does a fantastic job,
Absolutely.
too. Then I found out there's a little wizardry involved in it, because she looks just like you.
I know.
She looks more and more like you as the film goes on. What happened?
It's quite surreal. So George Miller, our director, had told me from the very beginning that because he was already asking audiences to get used to a new Furiosa, he wanted the transition from the two actors playing her to be seamless. So he made a composite of both of our faces that worked on a dial. And so at the beginning of the movie, it's 35% me and mostly Alila. And then as the movie goes on, it goes all the way up to 80% until I take over the role completely. And it is crazy seeing it on screen.
And it really works. It just looks like as she matures, she looks more like you.
Oh, absolutely.
And I was so excited about it that I had our graphics department to see what would happen if they blended our faces. And I think...
Is this going to scar me for life?
I think it's an improvement for me.
Wait, let me see.
I think it's...
What's going on with your eyebrows?
What? I think they're your eyebrows. I think they're your eyebrows and your lips. Anyway, you're welcome.
Oh, thank you so much. I'm going to frame that.
You can have this if you go. George Miller is known for, in these films especially, treating vehicles like characters in the movie. They're very important. And you do a lot of driving in this.
Yes.
Are you a good driver? Like, did you go and like, I'm so excited because I'm a car gal?
So, like, I'm going to be really honest about this. I'm a really good driver. I don't have a license.
Wait, were you a really good driver before you did the film?
No.
No, okay.
No, I had never driven a car in my life.
You had literally never driven a car before?
When
you were in a Mad Max?
When George Miller calls you and asks you, do you want to learn how to drive a car to be a Mad Max? You say yes. And then you figure it out as you go along.
Because you're driving stick in these.
I'm driving some really cool vehicles in this. The first thing I ever learned how to do in a car is something called a Juicy Lift 180.
I'm sorry, what?
Yeah.
Juicy lift?
Juicy lift 180. So you just floor the accelerator, then you like pull on the emergency brake, and then you just go, and eventually you stop.
And does the car like skid out or something like that?
Yeah.
Wow.
It's really fun.
Have you since gotten your license?
To be fair, I have been on a month-long press tour for this movie. So once it's over, yes, I am planning on getting it.
Okay.
I would really like to have my license. I also want to get my stunt driver's license. I think it would be fun.
Sure. And when you take the test, like when you do the driving test, I wouldn't recommend the juicy lift. You could just send...
I have to learn how to parallel park. So, like, yeah.
I would love to teach you how to parallel park.
Please.
Could we do that? Could we do that as a field piece?
I would love that. You
Just send them the film and say, "Give me my license."
Thank you. Thank you.
This is all out in the Australian desert.
Yes.
Right? And I'm shocked. I forget how big the desert is
Yeah.
in that country. And the sand dunes are extraordinary. Were you living out there?
Yeah.
In the outback?
You fly from Sydney 5 hours into the center of the country, and then you come into a place called Broken Hill, and that's where we shot the beginning of this movie.
And was there a lot of sunscreen involved in this?
I have to.
Because no offense,
I'm
you look like you don't tan.
I'm so grateful that you brought this up because that's genuinely what I said to George on our first phone call. Like, he was FaceTiming with me and he goes, "Oh, I really want you to do this movie." And I was like, "But you have seen me, right? Like, this is just, there's no shade anywhere. Like, I'm gonna need an umbrella." And he was like, "That's what you're worried about in this film?" I was like, "Yes, sir. That's it."
Wow. Were you ever filming something like crazy, explosive, or violent, and George is talking to you, George Miller, the director, and did it occur to you while he's talking to you about this crazy, violent stuff that he also directed Happy Feet and Babe, Pig in the City?
So it was actually him that would bring it up.
Oh, okay.
So we'd be doing a war sequence, and it was, really intense, and people are dying.
It's hard to convey how over the top some of these choices are.
They're very intense. And he would come over to me and he'd be like, "I remember in Babe." I was like, "What happened in Babe, Pig in the City that possibly correlates to this?" I don't know. I don't know, man.
George Miller said that he thinks that your determination is because you're the youngest of a large family. Do you believe that? Do you think he's right about that?
I'm number 6.
You're 6 of 6.
I'm 6 of 6.
Okay.
What are you?
I'm 11 of 11.
No way.
Yeah.
Oh,
It's not a contest, but I am
You
winning.
won. Hardcore, for sure.
But you're right, it is determination. Yeah. How do you think that informs you as a performer?
I've never really, I think the only thing that I remember of my siblings is they would kind of pick me up and be like, "Where is the off button? There's so much energy." But to be fair, yeah, when you're the small, I think I realized I was always going to be the smallest. And so if I was going to win in like any kind of physical tussle, I had to like do a lot of biting.
And you have to play up. You have to play up in age.
Well, you have to show up and be like,
yeah.
"I will get you for this."
And fight for food because they're bigger and you can't ever get seconds before them.
Wait, this sounds like your siblings were like a pack of puppies. They're like fighting for food.
They were. Oh, no. That's my wife always goes, "Why do you eat so fast?"
And you're like,
I go,
"'Cause
you wouldn't eat it all if you
it would
didn't
be
eat
gone
this fast." Exactly. I'm a huge fan of Dune, which I think maybe I've mentioned to you before. And obviously, the second installment of Dune, brilliant. But we only got just less than a minute of you as Alia. Is it true that no one in the cast knew that you were playing that part up until the very last, even past you shooting it?
Yeah, no one knew, and I begged Denis to tell them. I was like, "I cannot show up on this carpet and be like, 'Hey.'"
At the premiere, they didn't know?
I think they knew by then. Listen, it was one of the most extraordinary experiences of my life. I love Denis more than anything, and I really thought that this opportunity was never going to happen. And so I barely knew that it was happening. He kind of called me on my phone. I did Furiosa, I did a press tour. My first day back in LA, he was like, "Do you want to get on a plane to Namibia?" And I was like, "Yeah, I will go."
Wow. No one has ever called me up and said those words. You're only in there for a few minutes, but obviously you're Anya Taylor-Joy. People want to see more of you as Alia. The next film has a big time dash where he's already said he's going to be working on Dune Messiah. There's a big passage of time, and so the characters have matured. Are you going to be in the next Dune movie? It's okay. Denis said it's okay for you to tell me. Has he said, "Please don't tell anybody"? How about that? Just tell me if he's asked you not to tell anyone.
I will not, sir.
I had to try.
I adore you.
I had to try. Thank you, Anya.
Oh, thank you.
Furiosa is in theaters this Friday. Anya Taylor-Joy, everybody. We'll be right back.
Hey, my friend.
second gentleman of the United States, Douglas Emhoff.